Hey, fans of the Monday Movie Club. Got it. This week we're back to the Coen brothers with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou from 2000. I'm Frank Gaffney. With us, as always, Joel. Annie King coming to us from Bali. Bali?
Molly.
Oh, wait.
Mark Wotitz Gartner. Oh, Joel, why did you make me watch this?
Ah! I agree.
And Goldfoot and Cringer, Where Art Thou? Right in your lap. I don't know why you're asking. And I am in Boca Raton right now. Yes. Okay, here's the plot. Set in rural Mississippi in 1937, this comedy follows three chain gang escapees on a mystical musical journey. The plot is kind of inspired by Homer's Odyssey, although neither of the Coen brothers have actually read the book.
That's true.
The title refers to the socially conscious film that the Hollywood director in Preston Sturges' 1941 satire, Sullivan's Travel, wants to make about the struggles of the Depression. Obviously, Joel remembers that movie. Has anybody else seen Sullivan's Travel? No.
No.
I think I missed that one.
Yeah, but it really is a very good movie. And anyway, so who picked this one? Joel, was it you?
I did. Yeah.
All right, Joel, why did you pick it? I can answer that question.
Go ahead. Then you tell me why I picked it.
It's the Coen brothers. We love the Coen brothers.
Exactly.
And we're going to watch every single one of their movies.
Including Barton Fink.
I think we watched two last year, didn't we? Watch Raising Arizona and Hudsucker Proxy last year.
I think so.
So Joel and I love the Coen brothers, and we'll gladly watch any movie they create. This is not one of the greatest. I'm sorry?
Joel, Amy, and I.
Oh, and Amy. Okay. Joel, Amy, and I, and me.
No, I.
And okay, where am I? Okay, well, this is a very funny one, not one of their greatest ones, and but this one has everything. Outlandish characters, an infectious musical score, and slaps. Thank you.
You're doing Stefan, right?
Yes. And slapstick action sequences, all very fun. George Clooney, John Turturro, and Tim Blake Nelson are very funny as the three escapees. Clooney has told them that he knows where a great treasure is and buried, and clink, clank, clunk along. They clink, clank, clunk along to their gold. Their gold. Get it? Gold. Aha. And Clooney is absolutely perfect here. Probably one of his best performances. And he has that little Clark Gable mustache and the pomade. It's so funny. And along the way, our three convicts meet Odyssey-inspired characters, Sirens, Cyclops, who is the always dependable Coen brothers staple, John Goodman, and Clooney returns to his long-suffering wife, played by Holly Hunter, another Coen brothers favorite. She actually lived with the Coens, Frances and which one is hers? Joel,
yeah.
in New York when she was an up-and-coming actress. And to earn some money, they even pass themselves off as the Soggy Bottom Boys, very funny, and create what becomes a hit record. And they are kind of a rural Southern Depression era Three Stooges, quite frankly. But the movie is all about the music. The Coens and T-Bone Burnett have curated quite the soundtrack. And Joel, didn't you use the Alison Krauss song for Book of Days?
I did, yes.
Yeah. Come to the River, what is it?
Yep. Yeah, I think that's the title.
Follow to the river, follow to the river.
Yeah.
And that scene, I mean, all the scenes are just scenes. I mean, it's just little vignettes, really, almost have nothing to do with each other. But that scene with the sirens is so hypnotic. I mean, they're singing, the voices, the boys getting drawn into it. It's all very mystical and very magical. But but it really is more of a tribute, I guess, to the Preston Sturges movie, because all of the elements from that movie are here. and Preston Sturges was like a screwball comedy kind of guy, but he always wanted to have a message in his movies. And so in Sullivan's Travels, there is a director played by Joel McRae.
Right. Yep.
And he aspires to make this movie about what it's really like to be in poverty in the South, in a depression. And so he decides to go out on the road and see what those people are really living like. But of course, Hollywood doesn't want to make that movie, of course. So the Coen brothers managed to channel Preston Sturges in his zany dialogue and the breakneck pace of the movie, but also there are some very, very strong links to Sullivan's Travel with the old-time religion, the prison farm, the church parade of convicts watching a movie. And so Preston Sturges' influence is more prevalent, certainly, than that 3,000-year-old Greek poet, Homer, who wrote the Odyssey. Okay. And so because Sturges really had serious things to say, it's interesting that the Coen brothers picked, I feel like I'm giving a tutorial, a TED Talk or something.
Frank talk.
Getting too much in a Frank Talk. But here's the thing. It's like, so now the Coen brothers are making that movie, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? To look at poverty in the South during the Depression era. But even here, Hollywood, even if Hollywood ever produced such a serious topic, they would still make this kind of lark movie about it. It still wouldn't be the statement that they wanted it to be. But the Coen brothers have such a beautiful lock on the tone and the content of their movies. It's just for me, it's just so fun to watch. And they have such a clear vision, such a clear voice that it makes it fascinating for me. So 2 Oscar nominations here for adapted screenplay from Homer's Odyssey, I guess.
Which is actually kind of funny because I think at the Golden Globes it was nominated for original screenplay.
Yeah. I mean,
That's funny.
Yeah.
technically, I guess, but it doesn't say in the film credits adapted from.
It does.
So it does?
It does.
Okay. Very loosely based.
Yeah.
And it also was nominated for cinematographer Roger Deakins, who for a very long time was the Susan Lucci of cinematographers. He was nominated 16 times as cinematographer, and 5 of those times were for the Coen brothers movies. And he didn't win until 2017 when he won for Blade Runner 2049. And he's a master of his craft for sure. The movie is gorgeous, but I read they had to treat the film because everything was green and beautiful and lush. And all right, so I'm going with 3.25 stars for me. I mean, like last week, I was smiling almost the entire time, and there's so much. It really is so much to love, and just watching it, you have to, eventually you realize that you're really not going anywhere, and this is something that Amy and I agree upon as well. That it's really the journey. It's about the journey, not the destination. And so it's fun. And when you get to the end, you're not really anywhere and you wonder why and how you ended up where you ended up, but you had a good time, so it really doesn't matter. And I think maybe Clooney puts it best. He says, it's a fool who looks for logic in the chambers of the human heart. Yeah. Mark, stop looking for logic.
I'm looking for entertainment.
All right, you can go next since you're poo-pooing everybody.
I didn't even write. I jotted down notes, but I didn't put them in order, so I'll jumble through it a little bit. I guess at this point, I think I said this last time too. After seeing this many Coen Brothers movies, I've definitely realized that I'm a Big Lebowski fan and not a Coen Brothers fan. They're just too many of their movies. Although I will give it Fargo and Old Country for No Man for old men are good, solid movies. I did like those.
Not Raising Arizona?
No, I hated it.
Oh my God.
Hudsucker Proxy was all right. Yeah, I know. You remember that though? I don't like it. There's so many that I just don't like. When we talk about comparing them to Tarantino and saying we're going to watch a film every year, for me at least, Tarantino, like Joe picked Hateful Eight 2 years ago. That's in my bottom section of Tarantino, but it's still better than pretty much anything other than The Big Lebowski. That I would watch that over and over again before watching another Coen Brothers movie, and that's the difference for me. I like Tarantino, even
Right.
what is it?
Gun to the head, Mark. Gun to the head. Wes
Yeah.
Anderson or the Coen brothers?
Coen Brothers, Coen Brothers. At least I could pick 3 or 4 that I could watch.
You said you liked the new movie.
Yeah.
We still never finished it, so I don't. We have to finish that up probably. We're planning on it this afternoon. So anyway, say again.
It's been like a week.
Yeah, I don't understand how people do that.
And you want to hear it worse? It's been about 3 weeks. I still haven't finished up Poor Things. I've watched it 4 times already, and I've watched it in like 15-minute increments. That's all I could take. I'll finish it up. Danielle's out 4 days this week. What else? When I, as you said, I read that it was based on the Odyssey, and I unlike the Coen Brothers, I've read the Odyssey, I've read the Iliad, I really like the Odyssey. It's a big, fun, epic story, and this one just wasn't. It was, and that's kind of what also got me let down. I didn't see the compare. I got the obvious, the sirens and the old man in the beginning, giving them the future and whatever. It just wasn't. It wasn't entertaining to me, I guess.
Hey, let's not the twins.
We're
twins.
Oh, hello.
No, we're
Get
not.
ready for landing. To me, George Clooney getting yanked off the train in the beginning was funny. And what else? There was one line. There was one funny line about getting beat up by Woolworths. I thought it was funny. That made me chuckle. But George Clooney, I'm sorry, Frank, I disagree 100%. George Clooney is not only too good looking, but he sounded like an articulate man trying to sound dumb. He was too well spoken for.
Exactly. That's it.
point.
Exactly. He thinks he's much smarter than he is.
That's when you find out why he was in jail, that tracks with everything else.
Yeah.
He was practicing law without a license.
I'm saying the opposite, though. I'm saying you could tell that he is well spoken, but he's trying to sound dumb, is what
he's trying to ingratiate himself with the rest of the prisoners that are essentially dumb.
Right. Again, his character was a lawyer, so he is smart and trying
okay,
to blend
yeah.
in with them.
Too subtle.
Yeah. The musical jamming sessions just went on too long. I hated the whole soundtrack. I guess some people like it. Just not for me.
Just some people. It had it won Grammys. It had a successful tour.
Yeah. Those are the people I'm talking about. Those people liked it. Me, this person did not. The part with John Goodman, who I normally love, when he's there beating the crap out of them, and George Clooney's just sitting on the ground, let them hit him and take the money. These are criminals. They should know how to fight. I don't know. It was so bizarre, and so unbelievable for me. I don't think I have anything else other than
looking for logic. Go ahead.
No, I'm just I guess so. I mean, a movie should make sense, no?
But again, Mark, go ahead.
I said George Clooney was a lawyer. He was arrested for impersonating a lawyer.
Yeah, he's not a fighter.
He's not gonna know how to fight.
If you're in prison, you're going to learn how to fight, or you're going to get.
Not necessarily with
him.
Yeah,
right. That's true.
And not for nothing, but just sitting there while he's beating the crap out of the other guy, you're just going to sit there. Even if you don't know how to fight, you jump up and fight. You have to protect your money. I don't know.
Sure. Mark, I think of you when the flood came just at the right moment. Oh, yeah. Completely. Like Mark is going to love that part.
I guess I hated about 75% of it. It's only a hair above Little Big Man. How's that? But it's definitely maybe 2 hairs. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to go 2 stars, but originally it was 1.75. I didn't get it, and I don't want to watch it again to get it. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Annie, were you able to watch it?
I did, and I watched it last night. And I'm going to say to you guys, I'm not a Coen Brothers fan, and I'm not a Tarantino fan either. So,
oh my God.
But one a year I can sit through
plenty. What a year is plenty.
But I did love Raising Arizona, right? That was the one that I saw in a movie theater, and I thought it was hysterical, and I loved it. The Big Lebowski was okay, but I didn't love it. And the Hudsucker Proxy, I think I liked better. But again, none of it really gets me, or I get it. I don't get it. It's like, okay. And the funny thing is, I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, why am I watching this? Right? It's like
Because
not
we're
going
making you
anywhere.
watch it.
Once again,
Right,
Mr. Fenster is giving us homework.
Yeah.
Yes, it was more
My
homework,
job.
and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, ugh, it's not going anywhere for me. It's not doing anything. So I was telling my sister, because I was watching it last night, and she said, well, you did chuckle a lot. You laughed a lot while you were watching it, because I had my headset in, because she was doing her work and stuff. She's like, but you did laugh a lot. I was like, okay, it was funny. There were good parts, and I guess there were some funny parts, but overall, I can't even remember what happened at the end and how like it all worked out. Like I was either really tired or it just didn't matter.
We did see the cow on the roof.
Right.
And his wife didn't really care that he was back.
Yeah.
Right.
It did. Yeah. The ending didn't really matter because he got the wrong ring on the desk.
Right.
And like I said, it was more about the journey than the destination.
Yeah, and I thought it was like there were parts of it that were so stupid, like with the hair gel and how many of it was in his house, and the frog. I'm like,
yes,
oh
yes.
The toad. Sorry, the toad. Yeah. So for me, it was I would go with a 2.5. I don't need to watch it again because I don't think I'll understand it any better, or there's any need to understand it any better. Thank you for making me watch it.
Yeah.
And I look forward to the next one. Although I think, will Fargo be on it? Because I haven't seen that yet. And I heard that's really good.
That's the best one.
Eventually.
Joel, be nice to us and add Fargo next, please.
I thought I was going to be really mean and do Barton Fink.
Barton Fink. I'm sick that week.
We could do both sides of the coin. Yeah. Even I think Barton Fink is their worst movie. All right. Aim, now being the other Coen Brothers aficionado.
And I prepared for this movie last week by finally watching Blood Simple, which I had never seen, which I liked. I've been a Coen Brothers fan since you got me into the screening of Raising Arizona in 1987. What I like about them, I can't think of what I gave star-wise to the movies we've watched, and I kind of remember I picked Raising Arizona, but I didn't like it nearly as much as I did in 87. I wish I could remember what I thought of the others, but I just love their stylization. I love their writing, and one line I just had to write down that I loved when George Clooney said, it does put me in an awkward position vis-a-vis my progeny. To me, that was just such a great line. I love their writing. I did like everybody. I thought everybody did a great job. I did not like the music because I don't like that kind of music, but the Constant Man, I can't remember what it's called.
Constant Man of Sorrow.
Constant Man of Sorrow. I remember that was like really big when this movie came out, which I did see in the theater because it was the Coen Brothers. I love that song. Oh my God, it's such a great song with the rest of it. I don't remember laughing at all during the movie. I didn't really think it was funny. It was just an enjoyable, like Frank said, an enjoyable adventure to see where it began and where it was going to end. So I'm going to give it 3 stars. 2 times is enough. I don't need to see it again. But it is a Coen Brothers movie. It's the same with Tarantino. If they're putting out a movie, I'm going to check it out because I like them. And I just love their style. You could tell it's a Coen Brothers movie. You could tell it's a Tarantino movie, and I love that.
Yeah, I totally remember watching Raising Arizona in the movie, and when the camera went from the ground up to the house and into the person's mouth, I'm like, who else would think of that? Brilliant, just brilliant camera move.
Well, their friend Sam Raimi would have thought of something like that. So
yeah, they definitely were influenced by him. Definitely. All right, Joel.
Mark, are you making notes so that next Coen Brother movie we can sound more mature and such?
Hold on, let me jot this down. Camera work.
Yeah, it's It's definitely not the best Coen Brothers film, but it's one I enjoy watching, and I've seen it a number of times. Actually, the first time I saw it, I was on a trip to London with a friend, and we had. I won't say it was one rainy day. We had several rainy days, and we decided one day we would go to a movie, and this was playing because it hadn't opened in the States yet. So we actually saw it before it opened in the United States, which was kind of cool. And I just, it's the Coen brothers. They don't make bad movies. They just make less interesting ones. And we've said that.
But this one is interesting.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
this one, it's not, not that this isn't interesting. The Odyssey falls into that category of classic literature that, everybody claims to have read and only Marx actually read. So I don't.
And they completely admit that they never read it.
Exactly. It's inspired by things they've heard about the Odyssey.
The Cliff Notes version.
The Cliff Notes version. And I think for the most part it works for what it is. I don't find it hysterically funny, but there's always a smile on my face. I just love simple little things, like when Charles Durning gets up on the stage with them at the end and he's doing this little dance that, to get up towards them. I was like, that's smile inducing to me.
Yes.
And half of his dialogue is just like, it's garbled and ridiculous and funny.
He's always adorable.
Yeah. And I think everybody in the cast kind of has those moments. And Amy's
they're definitely having fun with it. Definitely.
Yeah. And again, Amy, you brought up the line about how that affects
To be my progeny.
Yeah, it's a great line. And it's a great story that he's now telling, that she's been telling the girls that he died, that he was hit by a train. But they're nonplussed if you're brought up and you've been told that your dad's been killed by a train, and all of a sudden he shows up and you're like, Daddy, you'd think there'd be a little more in the reality of things, like, oh my God, what are you, but it's the Coen brothers and there isn't, and it works beautifully. And I'm not a big fan of that type of music, but I gotta say, I love the soundtrack. It really it touched me in places that I didn't really expect to be touched at times. Yeah, exactly.
Inappropriately, yeah.
That's very inappropriate.
Or wanted to be touched.
Yeah, exactly.
It definitely brought bluegrass music
to
the public, and we actually started listening to Alison Krauss because of it.
Sure, yeah. It definitely, it's one of those movies that kind of pushes you in other directions to look at other things it's connected to after the fact. Not that I hadn't seen a lot of Preston Sturges movies beforehand, but after I had seen it, I was like, I need to go back and rewatch Preston Sturges' stuff.
Right.
And that's one of the things I really like about their films. Their films tend to fall into two different categories. You have Blood Simple and what came out of that area, and then you have Raising Arizona and what came out of that area. And the comedies per se all tend to fall into pastiches of golden age directors. Like the Hudsucker Proxy has a very Frank Capra-esque feel to it, but it also has a Sturges feel to it in the zany comedy aspect. And I think this,
and they tried it with Intolerable Cruelty too. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work. And then that to me is, I think, probably the least of their films for me.
Yeah. Now wait. Now tell me you did not laugh when Tim Blake was like, "It's him. He's a fraud."
Yeah, of course that's hysterical. And I'm always amazed at Tim Blake Nelson, because he is such a great character actor that he can play such a dumb idiot like Del Mar in a film like this, and then you can see him in
The Leader,
in the MCU or anything else, and
as Buster Scruggs.
Exactly, Buster Scruggs. Yep.
Oh my goodness,
that's a
matinee idol.
Yeah, Buster Scruggs I need to watch again, because I liked it when I saw it, but I haven't gotten back to it because it's a streaming movie, and I don't think of them all the time as movies, because you don't see them in the theaters.
I didn't laugh at the frog coming out or him thinking it was a frog, but I thought it was cute and clever that the frog was placed right where his heart would be, and you're like,
yes,
what the hell is that?
Yeah,
that was cute.
But I'm saying that Tim Blake was so funny in his earnestness and
Yeah,
really believing it.
You
That's what-
believed that he
But
believed
I
that
thought
that
it was
was
adorable.
yeah.
It was adorable.
You had to question yourself. They couldn't have turned him into a frog. Something else had to have happened. But I'm believing that he believes this.
Yeah, it was adorable to me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it Frank, you give it 3.25.
Yes.
I'll go with that.
All right.
I just want to make sure that I say this. I'll echo what Annie said. You know, Joel, even though I did not enjoy this, I still thank you and thank this club for making me watch it. And if anything out of it, I honestly want to go back and read the Odyssey. So that's the takeaway
Exactly.
that I'm getting from it.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Could you change your name now? Because now
Maybe.
you understand. Now you understand. All right. So no, yeah.
Oh,
You
brother,
look-
where art thou is not streaming.
No, it's actually available on AMC Plus.
Is it?
If you subscribe to that. I did not know that. Or $3.79 on Prime. Next week we are watching Disney's animated Mulan from 1998. That's on Disney Plus. That was Marky Brunch's choice for next week. But just one more time, it's always interesting to watch a Coen Brothers movie. I don't think, yes, they have definitely had, I wouldn't say clunkers, not fully realized. There was also one, I just found out when I was looking up this one, there was one movie they wrote but did not direct.
Crime Wave.
Crime Wave, is that what
I think it's Crime Wave, yeah.
Yeah, and I've never seen that. I think I would want to see that.
It's I forget who actually directed it because Sam Raimi's involved in it as well.
Isn't it Colin Firth is in it, I think?
No,
Is
they're
that it?
thinking of a different movie.
All right, well.
Anyway.
So
I'll let you know
that's the only Coen Brothers movie I haven't seen.
Frank, you got to equate it to what I always say about pizza. There is no such thing as bad pizza.
There you go.
Worst pizza is a 7.
No, sorry. We have kids. We've been to Chuck E. Cheese.
It would be perfectly fine to me.
Yeah,
no.
I actually didn't mind Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, Frank, no. It's like the worst pizza in the history of the world.
And that's a 7.
No.
All the rest is 9.
I would
But it's still pizza. It's still pizza.
It's not still pizza. It's like eating the box with ketchup and vegan cheese on it. It's terrible.
Wait,
Amy, I generally agree with you, but I also agree with Joel. There is an in between. Most pizza, even the bad ones are good. Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
let's equate it to something Mark can relate to. Well, a Coen Brother is like sex. Even the worst sex is still good.
it's still sex. Yeah,
is that better? Better analogy for you?
Works for me.
All right. So that's it. I'm Frank Gaffney. Watch a Coen Brothers movie.
And also with you.